Hey there, this is Wendy from Wendy's Parade of Perfume. On this channel, I just talk about perfume. I do little format for perfume reviews. I talk about what's on my shelf. And as you can see, here I am just talking into my phone to you good people. So I'm real low budget, DIY, and unedited. Actually, I'm not even DIY because I don't actually do anything. I just talk into my phone and then I send it to YouTube. So Kris from the Fragrance Divide, he did a tag video and he even tagged me on this, my very first direct one. So I've been wanting to do another video. It's been a couple weeks from the Palo Santo one, so I was like, I'll just do a chatty video. It's fine. He has a bunch of questions about my fragrance journey, and I wrote them all down, and I'm going to answer them one by one. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, then keep watching. Or if not, then I'll see you next time when I actually talk about a specific perfume or do a perfume list. So how did I get into perfume YouTube is the first question. So I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but the blog, just as a I don't want to say art form, but the blog as a format is kind of going away. There's not a lot of perfume blogs anymore. There's not nail polish blogs. There's not beauty blogs. There's not people journaling online. That kind of thing has disappeared. People don't write online anymore. It's been really replaced by TikTok and YouTube and just this format instead. So originally I was really into reading about perfume and I still prefer that, but as time went on, I kind of had to switch to listening to it. And it is nice to listen to like a perfume video when I'm cleaning or doing the dishes or whatever. I really do enjoy that. Not as much as I used to. There's a couple of reasons for that. Really quickly, I feel like perfume video vlogging has been so commercialized, and I can't deal with I have to be sold to first, and people are sent so much stuff that they feel like they have to say nice things about it, and then they love it, and the next thing you know, they're just decluttering it. It's not authentic to me. So there are still a lot of perfume people that I like on YouTube, but as far as the really big channels and the ones where I can tell like they're up on all the newest stuff and everything gets sent to them and they have to advertise like clothes or jewelry or these flowers, those fake flowers that people like, I don't want to hear about that. Okay, just talk to me about the perfume. But anyway, I just got into it. My ex-husband was very nice and he did buy me some nicer things to set up so I could do it myself. But one day I did try to monkey around with that, with the setup with the lights and the camera and everything. But one day I just decided to start talking into my phone and I hit send and that's where it started. That's all. So he encouraged me to do it in the first place. And for that, I thank him a lot for that encouragement. And he really encouraged me too, but it was mostly him and just looking at other people doing it. So who do I watch on YouTube? I really, first and foremost, Thomas, Ouch110. He's been doing this forever. He does old school long formats, just regular perfume reviews, some lists here and there, but not only him and I are the same age, I think I'm a few years older than him, but him and I are the same age. We have overlapping tastes. And I just like listening to him talk. I like listening to his thoughts. I like the way he articulates things. I like the way he breaks everything down. He's definitely my favorite, and he doesn't post as much as he used to, but whenever that man posts, I literally am like in front of my television with popcorn and I'm just like, I treat it like it's a movie release because I get really excited to listen to it. Other people I like in no order, and I'm missing a lot, but I like Claire from Smurfy Girly, Beauty Meow, Joss Jane, Gavin from The Etherealist. I don't know if he posts anymore. Eric from Centrifugal. I don't know if you guys, I can't pronounce his channel name, but he is freaking hilarious. He's from Boston. He has a wonderful collection. He has hilarious edits. He puts all these like little music clips and like cartoon clips in his videos. He's very, very funny. I just like listening to him talk too. He cracks me up. I do like watching Eva Monroe. She doesn't do a lot of perfume reviews anymore. She's so much better than me. She's also in my age group, but she's one of these like very put together, well done people. And she even one day was like, and if you're going to do a video, don't come up here with your hair all a mess and wearing these crappy outfits and not have it. And I'm like, okay, that's me. We all can't be like her, right? I'm sorry. I'm just a little bit more guttural than that. But she also does a lot of stuff about her life and her wisdom and her experiences, and she's a really interesting person to listen to. She's also really into gardening right now, so if you're also into gardening, she posts a lot of videos about that, along with things just about life. So she's a really good person to listen to. Um, yeah, I know there's more. I also listen to Veronica sometimes. I like her too. Now, influencers that influence me, I'm obviously influenced a bit when Thomas posts. I'm also influenced by whatever Guerlain is putting out because I'm a Guerlain girl. That is a perfume house that basically, unless it's their ridiculous scents that are like $600, I'm like, I want to get it. I'm there. Like, I pay attention to what they're putting out and I follow them and I'm influenced by what they release. I'm also influenced by just monkeying around on the internet, looking at Fragrantica, that sort of thing. Actual YouTubers, I'm not saying I've never been influenced before, but it is getting more and more to the point of where I just feel like I'm being advertised to. So I don't take a lot of YouTubers very seriously anymore. Now, whose taste is similar to mine? Actually, none, because I love vintage. I love Oak Moss. I love old school. I like things that smell like they're from 40, 50, 60, 70, 100, 150 years ago. I prefer things that smell dated. I like smelling like a grandma. I love the classics. I don't know of anyone else that likes that style. I don't know of anyone else that really loves chypres. I don't know of anyone else that loves, leather and darkness and just that old aesthetic. I prefer that over what we have now. Not to say we don't, I like Valentina Born in Roma. I like a lot of modern perfumes, but I don't, they're just not my favorite. I like old stuff better. So I have yet to find any, and that's not popular, right? So they're not going to pop up. Like the old school perfumes, people that like stuff like that, they're not going to be very popular. So, they're just not going to surface. So when did I start wearing perfume? So I spent my formative years in the 90s. I never wore CK1, but it was a very interesting time period because for 2 years when I was in high school, everything smelled like CK1. The hallways, the bathroom, outside, the mall, when I'd be in chorus, people would like spray their CK1 on and the whole chorus room would like reek of CK1. So I will never forget that smell. It reminds me of being 16, but I was around it so much I never had to wear it. But I did wear a perfume at that time. The very end of the 90s, I wore Elizabeth Arden Sunflowers. I wore Elizabeth Arden Green Tea, which I don't know if anyone knows this, but the man of the hour, Francis Kurkdjian, who's done Baccarat 540, never even smelled that perfume. I'm never going to, but he did that perfume. And at the time, it was like amazing to have a real green tea. It really smelled like green tea. It was freaking incredible. I went to Macy's. I bought it from the perfume counter. I used up that whole 100 ml bottle. Unfortunately, it's been badly reformulated since then. It's like a shadow of what it used to be. Right now, it's like a citrus body spray, but fond memories of green tea. I liked Estee Lauder Pleasures. I liked this perfume called, it was just called H2O. It was from a makeup company. It was in a blue round bottle. That was actually rather aquatic and fruity, but I really liked that one. I think I had, even though I didn't like it, I don't know how I ended up with a bottle of Hugo Boss for women. Not really my style. And I did like CK Contradiction. I liked that one too. So I did, and that was when perfume wearing was normal. Like I just had a bottle or two when I would wear the whole bottle like a normal person, and then that would be the end of it. What had happened was at the very end of that period of time, around 2002, I was outside for a whole month, like on a camping trip, long story short. And when you're outside for that long, you can smell someone's Tide laundry detergents from a mile away because you're just out in the clean air. You're not wearing anything, you stink, and your nose is just so uncorrupted that your sense of smell actually improves. So when I came home, I couldn't stand any synthetic scents, which I know is weird. Isn't that so weird that happened? But it's funny how your chemistry changes. So there was almost like a 10-year period of time where I didn't even wear, I wear deodorant, but unscented deodorant, unscented laundry detergent, unscented body lotion. I wore CeraVe or like Jergens, like plain. I deliberately bought, and this is very hard to find, unscented shampoo and conditioner. Like I wanted everything unscented. I didn't want any scents on me. I cannot believe that I have such a radical change. But what ended up happening was in 2009, and this is a dirty secret that I have never spoken aloud. I think only one other person, Matt, knows about this, but because he was with me. I was out eating dinner and we were at a brewery and the waitress comes up and she smells incredible. She just smells so good. And even my husband was like, wow, she smells really good. Her perfume is just amazing. I was like, wow, it is. So at the end, I was like, if you don't mind, I have to ask what you're wearing. And she was like, oh, it's a really cheap perfume. It's Paris Hilton perfume. And I was like, wow, goddamn. So the good thing about Paris Hilton perfumes is that they're really affordable. And at the time, you could buy a 4-pack of her perfumes. They were 15 mils each, spray bottles for like $25. So I go to like the mall in Lafayette, Indiana, the county mall, and I go to the Pennies or something, and I buy a pack of them. And that's how I started wearing perfume again. I'm not kidding. And I bought that, and I bought a couple full bottles, and I was okay with that for about not even a year. And I also started wearing, of all things, I switched to Annick Goutal because they had that at the perfume store in the mall. I wore Petite Chérie, Eau de Hadrian, and a Gardenia Passion, I think. And a few other Estee Lauders because that was at the Macy's. But I got on Fragrantica and that just opened the whole thing. Okay, so that was like in 2009 that happened. So I was on Fragrantica, I was perusing the perfume counter at the mall, and I was reading about perfume, and I pretty quickly got sick of my Paris Hilton perfumes, but at the same time, it established a really nice routine. I would come home from work or on my day off, I would take a nice shower, I'd spritz some perfume, and it was just an uplifting part of my routine that just made me feel good, and I just really liked it. So, at least my first exposure wasn't some $300, or maybe it would have been better if someone was like, I'm wearing $400 perfume. I would have been like, at the time, even though I was older, I was in college, and I was like, I can't afford that. But I could afford the Paris Hilton, and that just kind of broke the seal. So I wore perfume normally in the 90s, and I had a gap, and then that's how I got back into it. It was that waitress at Lafayette Brewing Company wearing Paris Hilton. Do I wear fragrances to bed? Absolutely. And this is especially the reason. I'm a veterinary nurse. I don't wear a lot of perfume to work. I will wear a spritz or two, but it has to be something like work appropriate. I don't wear a lot, and it just fades off, right? And I get gross. I get disgusting. The first thing I do when I come home, I take my scrubs off and I take a hot soapy shower and I spray perfume on. So yes, that is primarily on my work days when I wear perfume, is after work. And it's part of my routine. And yes, I wear perfume before I go to bed. Now, I don't wear super ornate, heavy, like crazy perfumes to bed, because sometimes if they're that heavy, they'll wake me up. Like I'll just be smelling them and then the smell will wake me up. But I tend to wear things that are a little bit lighter. I do tend to wear this rotation of more bedtime perfumes that I like. But yeah, I most def wear perfume to bed. I at least wear perfume like in the evening, and then if it's something strong, I just don't reapply it before I go to sleep. 3 fragrances. If my shelf could only have 3, what would I keep? That's easy. Despite I honestly probably have like 500 different perfumes, which sounds bananas. That is absolutely crazy. Nobody needs that much. Don't freaking do that. But the 3 that I would keep, and I'll go in chronological order, starting with 1971, I would keep Clinique Aromatics Elixir from my vintage Chypre. I freaking love that perfume, and I cannot live without it. The second one I would keep is 1989 Guerlain Samsara. That is legit my favorite fragrance, and I probably have a lifetime supply of it. That would be my Ornate Oriental Floral. And in 2007, I would keep Prada Infusion de Riz, which is my all-purpose floral woody musk. Smells great anytime, anywhere, all the time, for everything. And out of the 3 of them, I've used a lot of Samsara. I haven't actually used a lot of Aromatics Elixir, only because you only need like 2 or 3 sprays of that one. But I've probably gone through at least 4 or 5 bottles of Infusion de Riz at this point. So those would be my top 3. And that's been a thing at least for the last 10 years. Those have been my 3 favorite fragrances like the last 10 years. Okay, the worst The worst fragrances I've ever worn. Now, there's a lot of perfumes that, you could just put them on and you don't have much to say, right? It's like, oh, I don't like that. But the absolute worst fragrances I've ever worn, I remember trying the reformulation, and not a lot of people are going to even know what I'm talking about, but Lancôme had a perfume in the 1970s. It was called Magie Noire. It was a really dark chypre, and the reformulation is it's an abomination. It's not a reformulation, it's an abomination. I put it on and I felt like I was being poisoned. It smelled worse than insect repellent smells. I mean, not DEET. It smells worse than DEET. DEET insect repellent. It smells worse than bugs. Like, I felt like I was being poisoned. Like, I had to wash it off, and then I just got rid of the bottle because I had a visceral, it was horrifying. It was like liquid poison. So stay away. If you're interested in Magie Noire, do not go anywhere near the reformulation of that perfume. My lord. Shockingly, I also reacted like that to the original Agent Provocateur. It has a it's a rose perfume, but it's a spicy rose perfume, and I thought I'd like that. And I even like notes with like cumin and curry notes. That shit does not bother me. I actually like cumin notes in perfume, and caraway seeds, stuff like that. For some reason though, this just rubbed me the wrong way. I sprayed it on and I was so horrified by it that I ran outside and threw it in the dumpster. I know that sounds crazy, but that's how much I hated it. It was absolutely horrible. Another perfume that it was almost comically bad. Like, I didn't have that visceral, like I was being poisoned from the inside out reaction, but from the makeup company MAC, they have a perfume called My Heroine. I actually did a review on that a couple years ago. It is absolutely horrible. It is a horrible perfume. It's supposed to be like a leather perfume, but it's just awful. It's depressingly awful. It just smells like, it's just horrible. It is a horrible perfume. Do not get My Heroine. It's awful. The other perfume that really made me feel kind of sick, and it kind of embodies everything I don't like about woody aroma chemicals nowadays, is Juliet Has a Gun Sunny Side Up. From what I understand, that company, they specialize in aroma chemicals, which is fine. That's where we're at. All the perfumes I'm wearing right now probably are all not natural in origin. I don't mean to say that, but just that high-pitched, super woody synth dry down of fake sandalwood, I could not stand it. It was so grating. I really, really, really did not like that one. And I tested it at Sephora. Then I had to go wash my hands after a while because it was just sickening. So do not like that one. Do I like blind buying? Do I? I mean, if I didn't blind buy, I wouldn't have any perfume. And maybe if it was 20 years ago and the internet didn't exist, I probably would only have like 30 or 40 perfumes on my shelf. But with the way things are set up now, I know I'm not the only one. You open up FragranceNet, you open up Beauty Encounter, it's just wrong. But I've actually had really good luck with blind buying. I blind buy all the time, and I'm probably never going to stop blind buying. So yes, I'm a blind buyer. It's not the smartest thing. I probably wouldn't recommend it, but I'm a blind buyer. My 5 fragrance notes that are my favorite. So I love all florals. I love floral notes. I love floral perfumes, but my favorite floral is probably just the rose. And to me, that's so ubiquitous and so obvious, but it shocks me that people are like, that's for old ladies, it's so dated, it's this and that. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's like, what perfume are you supposed to put in? I mean, that's one of the perfumes we can get the fragrance out of. It doesn't have to be synthetic. I mean, rose has been used in perfumes forever. Like like the attar oils and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying you have to like the way a rose smells, but to just dismiss it as something that's dated, I'm like, you can smell like rose or you can smell like a cupcake. I don't know. I'd rather smell like a rose. So I love rose. Obviously, I love sandalwood, real sandalwood, Mysore sandalwood. I've had some more recent perfumes that I know have like Australian and Caledonian sandalwood, and those smell good too. I'm not a big fan of the Javanol Santal 33 type of sandalwood, but real deal sandalwood that's in my old school perfumes, that's what I like. I love incense as a note. I like incense perfumes. Iris, obviously. I don't really consider that to be a flower because it's like a rhizome, but I love iris perfumes. I love tobacco as a note. I'm doing more than 5, I'm sorry. I'm doing like 10. I love leather. Leather is a great dry down note. Obviously, I love oak moss. I've mentioned sheepras before. I love, 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 love oak moss. I love oak moss. Wearing oak moss perfumes, it makes me happy. I freaking love oak moss. Another floral I like is jasmine. I like, I, I even like the candied jasmine, the stripped down candied jasmine they have now, but I like indolic jasmine. I like night blooming jasmine. I love all of them. And lately I've also really gravitated toward like spicy, like clove, cinnamon notes in perfume too. So I really like that. Stuff I dislike. Anything that has an immortelle note in it, I do not like. I don't like that maple syrup, that weedy maple syrup curry smell. It smells like weeds covered in curry and maple syrup. I don't like immortelle at all. I don't like, and everything else on my list is pretty synthetic. Ambroxan and ISOE and all that, they're in all perfumes, and I'm not saying that I can always sniff it out. I'm not saying that I won't wear them, but when there's an excessive amount in them, I don't like that. I feel like it cuts through everything, and that's all I can smell. I don't gravitate toward anything that has a sugar note. If it's sugared something or just sugar cubes or sugar in general, I don't like smelling like sugar. I don't like colognes, calones, like that kind of aquatic melon fragrance. I don't like that. And I have to be careful with the peony accord. Now, my neighbor Paula, she just gave me a little bunch of peonies like a month ago, and oh my God, they smelled so good. But unfortunately, peony is not something we can actually get any fragrance oil out of, and they can only approximate it with remover chemicals. And sometimes they do a good job, but sometimes it's like chemical warfare. So if I see a peony note, I am hesitant. And just like syrupy gourmands, I'm not into smelling like a latte. I don't want to smell like a cupcake. I don't really like those super synthetic like syrupy gourmand notes. Oh gosh, so 2 perfumes we're actually getting to the end. We're almost done. So perfumes that I would bring back. There's a lot of reformulation regrets that I have. There's a lot of perfumes that I've missed out on, but the 2, just to make it so I will never ever ever see these perfumes in my lifetime. There are 2 Guerlains from the 1930s. One is called Sous la Vente. It is a chypre, obviously. The notes look amazing. It just looks like it would be this amazing 1930s chypre, and I wish I could smell it. It is long discontinued. They revived it temporarily like in the aughts, and even that was it was short-lived, and I don't even think I was wearing perfume like in 2006, so I would have missed it anyway, and I would not have been to the point of where I would want a high-end Guerlain. So I did look on eBay. There is a splash bottle from the 60s that is $1,298. I just had my water heater break down on me, and I had to get that fixed, so not really in the budget right now. So Guerlain Sous la Vente I can't get, and the other one after that, it's at the end of the 1930s. There's a perfume called Vega. It's a green floral, also from Guerlain, and I want to smell Vega so bad. Maybe they'll release them again. Do you think they will? It won't be the same though, right? But those are 2 that I wish I could get my hands on, and I know that I never will. So we'll end on this one. Do I have a signature scent? Yes, I do. Speaking of Guerlain, that is Guerlain Samsara. I love that perfume. I never get sick of it. I love the progression. I love everything about it. I mean, there's flowers in there. There's sandalwood. There's, citruses. There's kitchen herbs. There's a tarragon note. There's greenery. There's jasmine. There's it really is a kitchen sink perfume, but it's so well done, and it smells so good. And it's even like a sweet perfume. Like there's like almost like this coconutty candied note in it. I mean, I just love it. Samsara is legit my favorite perfume in the whole world. Ouch 110 Thomas, Samsara is also his favorite perfume, and he said something that I found to be very interesting. Because he's like, these are the last 2 bottles of Samsara that I have. I don't like the B bottle. I don't like the B bottle either. I don't know what the newest one smells like. He's like, I don't like the B bottle. I can't get that. These are the 2 I have, and once they're gone, and I'm gonna have to move on. And I'm like, I cannot move on. I cannot move on from Samsara. I'm not saying I'd be devastated. No, I would be really upset. It would really bother me if I could never wear Samsara again. It would probably take me a long time to get over something like that. So no, I'm not getting over Samsara. I'm going to wear Samsara until I'm dead. And to ensure that, a couple years ago, I deliberately would troll eBay and troll Mercari and trade for the vintage bottles of Samsara. And at the time, I was buying them for 40, 50, 60 bucks. Maybe for like a 100 ml bottle or like a sealed eau de parfum from the 90s, I'd pay like 75, 80. And I have at least 15 bottles of Samsara now. I also have that includes the red bottles too. When they were dumping the red bottles, they were selling them for like 40 bucks because they were dumping the red bottles to make room for the B bottles. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get on this right now. So I bought a couple bottles then when they were dumping everything. I have the eau de toilette, I have the eau de parfum, I have the vintage 90s. I have like, I think 2 tiny little bottles of the parfum. So yeah, I have at least 50. I should go count, but I have enough. I have plenty. I have plenty of Samsara that I don't have to worry about it. And you cannot recreate the sandalwood that is in there. It is gone. It is never coming back. It's just, it doesn't exist anymore. It's impossible to get. It's nearly impossible to get. I shouldn't say it's impossible to get. It's nearly impossible to get. It's never going to exist on a commercial scale the way it used to. And I am so glad that I have enough. A lot of people are against, this is another subject, so I won't go into it too much, but a lot of people are like, don't get backup bottles. You don't need them, blah, blah, blah. But man, if you know that you love, and not a fickle love, like, oh, I'm having a fling with this perfume for the weekend. Like, not like that. I mean, if you really love a perfume, it does not hurt to have a few bottles of it because, especially now, they reformulate and discontinue things faster than they ever have. So get it while you can. I mean, even the red bottles of Samsara, I was literally buying them. When they were dumping those, I was buying 100 ml bottles for 40 bucks. They're $300 now. It's ridiculous. So yeah. If you know you're in love, hoard it. Hoard it. So, that's the end. I don't know if that was interesting to anybody, but I haven't been on for a few weeks since my Palo Santo list, and I just wanted to get on and chit chat. I'm probably going to do my summer tray next time. I'm hesitant to do my summer tray because it's so redundant. It's like, I've been wearing Eau de Janeiro. I like Shalimar. You know what I mean? It's like the same stuff I always wear, but that's because I have established perfumes that I like. So I'm still going to do it though. I could talk about whatever I want here. So anyway, Kris from the Fragrant Divide, he had the tag. Kelly, you should do this too. Margie, you should do this too. Expanse Floating, you should do this too. Anyone else, just do it. He has them all the questions listed out nicely in his description box. So have at it. I'll see you guys next time.